Oh my goodness, welcome back. We are rolling today, so I don't even know what time it is, although it says 2:22 right behind me on the clock. I already started some work today. I wanted to get something tested so I could show you guys, so it'll be dope. But anyway, here's the plan for today. Once again, I already been productive today on other things. I went and played basketball outside. I'm pooped. I'm also trash, but don't worry about it. It's that sort of day. I also have a friend's car that I'm fixing, but the part's not in yet, so I'm cleaning it, which is nice. I already buffed it, looking shiny. Then just clean the inside, shampoo the carpet, so letting that dry out now. But anyway, here's the plan. So we're gonna have to do something with these turn markers. Well, we're not going to have to, but we are doing something. So this one I was gonna keep as a little air intake vent, kind of help cool off the car on the inside a little bit. And this one was the signal marker, but I wanted to do something snazzy pants. So we're gonna turn these or put in an LED strip, kind of have like a sequential type thing, so it'll be white for, or whitish blue, when it's on the running lights. And then we'll have a signal be the orange stripe, or amber as it's technically called, because that's what's legal. And we're gonna have that. I don't know where I'm going. Here, let me show you exactly what I'm doing, because I already did it on the other side. Boom, that is it. So it's this little signal light thing, and let me show you how it works really quick. So this is with it on. I don't know how much you could tell. I'm gonna show you again when it gets dark. That's hopefully when I'm done it'll be dark, but it's nice and white when it's on. A nice cool little strip. You can see it in daylight. Right now the backing is white, so it looks like nothing's changed. But when it's amber, it's got that cool little strip action going. So I'm gonna show you guys how to make that happen on your own car. It's actually super simple. Like a lot easier than I was expecting, but in a good way. Cause yeah, let's get this rolling. Pardon the mess, but here's everything that you're going to need. So we're gonna use these LED strips that I got off the Wish app, which is heckin' dope. They're super cheap. I don't remember the cost, but they work, so I'm happy. Got longer ones that we're gonna use for the taillights, but that's for a video for another day. I don't know why I hit the camera. I apologize, camera. Going to need your original signal light. So this one had a running light, which was orange, and then the signal plus the running light was this. We're only gonna need this little bulb section. We're gonna be cutting it out or cutting it off here. We're going to need to do some resistors eventually, I'm assuming, but I don't wanna do that until I finish the back ones as well. Actually, we'll see. But anyway, we're gonna start here. Don't worry about what I just said. Now this one, the previous owner cut some wires, but I'm not too worried about it because I know how the wiring goes. It's really simple, plus we don't actually need this side. So don't be confused by this. We're not gonna worry about it. All we need are these three, which is 1, 2, and then the third one popped off there. But I know for a fact that it is a ground, which is this other black wire. So this black wire, although disconnected, was supposed to go there, which is fine because we're gonna cut it anyway. So here's how we're gonna get this going. The first thing you'll need to do is to know which ones are the signal and which ones are the constant. Now I know for already, because I tested it out on the other side, that this middle one is the signal one and the outside one is the constant power. We need to know this so we know which wires to connect up for the LED strip, because the LED strip is 3 wires. One for the amber turn signal, which automatically blinks itself, another one for the constant white, and then another one for the ground. So we go ahead and connect this up and then strip back the wires a little bit on these, and then get a multimeter to go ahead and test out which one goes where. I'm going to actually show you on this other side, because turns out they yanked that plug out on the other side, so I can't really show you, but I'll show you exactly how it's done here so you guys know. Right now I have just the running lights on, so this light right up here that is our signal is on. All we need to do is take the black wire, we're going to kind of just poke this one into it so we get to some wire, and then we're going to do the same for our green. So we're going to find, I'm going to start with this outside one right here, kind of dig into that there with the red. And I don't know how well you can tell, but we can see that we're getting about 11 volts going through, which means that this one is getting constant power. Now I'm going to put this other red one on the signal light, the one I know is the signal light, to show you guys. But as you can see, we're not getting any current through, minimal at best, which means that it's not supposed to be on, which it is not on. So now I'll go ahead and turn on the hazard light, so I'll show you guys what we'll be looking for in the signal. So we have our hazards on now. And if we go to our constant, it's still getting the 11 volts because it's always going to be getting the power run through it. Now if we run over to our signal, what we'll see is it's bouncing all over between 1 and about 10 volts. Because what's happening is that it's just getting that power signal so quick that the multimeter can't fully register it. But when we see all these numbers jumping around high to low to high to low, we know that this is getting the signal power. So go ahead and mark those wires then. Mark it as the signal, the constant, and the ground. Black is ground almost always, and then we'll know, and we can just go ahead and start cutting and making it happen. Now we have our wires that we know which goes where. We have our ground. I put another wire on it just to extend it because it stopped right there. Another tip when we're doing wiring, always remember you can always upsize the wire, so you want to get a thicker wire, but you never want to go to a thinner wire. But the nice part is that these wires that we're working with are extremely thin, about as small as you're going to get, so we don't really have to worry about that, which is handy dandy. So pretty much all we're going to do now is we're going to cut off the big bulb here because we don't need it, And you want to give yourself enough room so if you do make a mistake, it's further down the road. So we're just going to take all three as a bundle right here. Give ourselves plenty of room right in the middle so we can have extra wire on the plug side and extra wire on the bulb side in case we need to connect the bulb back for whatever reason. So 1, 2, 3, scary part is done. And I'm going to cut the fourth one as well. Do that one longer. Boom. All we have is our plug. I'm leaving this extra wire on even though it's for the other, just so I know it's different. These two wires do merge to one because all it is a split, so it gives the signal, or this is the constant one on the outside. The orange blinker or amber didn't blink on this car, and I can guarantee you that because this one split to it. Also, I saw it, so that's another way I can guarantee it. But this is the only one that blinked was the inside one, so that way we know this one is the signal. So the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to want to connect up our LED strip. So the nice part is that it gives us a code. So it says the red wire is the accessory with the positive. All this means is this is our constant. The Y for white. Y for yellow wire is our turn signal. And then the black wire is ground, of course, which is our negative. So it pretty much makes a full circuit, positive in, negative out. So all these wires are color labeled. I'm going to do something that really helps me out with the other side, is I'm going to take more of my extra wire, attach it on here and just extend it out. So that way if we do make a mistake, we can trim off our excess wire here instead of having to trim back this wire further and further back. So I'm going to go ahead and solder on an end to each three, kind of give myself about 4 or 5 inches extra wire. Alright, we got them all cut. I need a better background because you guys can't see jack squat. Sorry, I apologize. Luckily for you, I have my professional photography background here, sponsored not by @Bounty. It's Bounty, but they're not sponsoring. Sponsor me, Bounty. I don't know where I was going. Oh yeah, I know where I was going. So we have these spread out, looking all squid and virus-like. If you get the joke, good job, because that's what a virus looks like. Oh, or those things from that one movie with Tom Cruise running in the minivan. Anyway, so we have them spread out. Where I have the black wire here. Don't know how you can see your colors. I can't see colors because I'm deaf. So I have my black up top, yellow in the middle, red on the bottom. Always double check this little code here before you attach every single one. Even when I have two attached, I'm always checking. I could have the ground and the signal wire, and I still check just to make sure that I don't have to do it twice. So for this part, we are going to use little crimps like this. I know you guys are like, Philip, solder. That's way better. Much gooder. Yes, I know, but the reason that we're not right now is because A, we may have to attach equivalent resistance of resistors of the blue equivalent, right, brothers? Yeah, you big yellow block thingies. Not only that, but we're probably going to have to do the thing. But you just want to make sure that if you do mess it up by putting one wire in the wrong spot, you don't have to cut the wire and resolder, but instead you could just uncrimp that and redo it. And besides, once you're done, you can uncrimp one at a time, resolder. Mucho better than other stuff. So let's go ahead and get those crimped on. Just like that part, focus. I can't focus. Alright, they're plugged in and just hanging there for now. Let's go ahead and turn on the lights and see if they actually work. Awesome, that's our normal running light, so that's good. And there it is with the hazards, that's good too. Obviously we're just going to mount it the correct way when we put it in, but that's a good start. Next thing I do want to do though is test with just the blinkers, see if we can get it to see whether or not it's going to be blinking too fast, because we have a lot less resistance now because it's an LED. Well, it's only blinking that little spot because it does have too little resistance. So all we need to do here is find the signal wire that we put in. We're going to cut it, add a resistor from there to the ground. That way it has a parallel circuit, so that way there's more resistance so it still thinks it's the original bulb. We're going to go ahead and pop that in, and I'll show you how over on the table again. So this is all an equivalence resistor is. It's just this big resistor that we're going to attach between 2 points here. The 2 points being the signal wire and the ground. We don't need it on the constant because when it's not, the car itself isn't looking for the constant power when it has the signal. It's just looking to see if there's enough resistance here, because if there's no resistance, it thinks that the bulb is out because it's running a bulb that usually has more resistance. So as I said before, we're going to run it in parallel. What that means is that we connect one end of the wire to the ground and one end of the wire to the center. So this is a perfect time for me to go ahead and solder these two together. So we're gonna go ahead and take off these connectors, strip off a little wire here, wind it around, solder it, get it all sealed up, heat shrink, taped up, and then we'll be good to go with these two ends. They'll be permanently soldered in, as well as done and good and all that good stuff. Yes, good. It's getting confusing because I'm confusing myself. So I'll show you guys when it's done. It's really simple actually, he says as he's about to splice wires. One other really helpful tip for you guys is don't take off both wires at once. Do one and then get this connected in and then get it all sealed up and then do the other. This way you don't have any accidental mismatches where you crisscross wires just because both are off. So only do one at a time. All right, we're all attached. We got the resistor on, got these two parts soldered in, soldered. And then I left that there for now because frankly, I just forgot about it. So let's go ahead and attach it and see if we fix that issue with the blinker. Oh yikes, you can't even tell. There we go, now you can see, but yes it did fix it, and look, just like that, we have one normal blinker. Alright, now it's all well and good that we have this done and everything's working perfectly, with everything soldered in. I just like saying the word solder wrong so many times that I'm almost saying it wrong by habit. Anyway, it's all well and good, but we do need to find a way to mount it up, so here's the way that we're going to go about this. We're going to take this piece of aluminum L-bar, luckily I had it sitting around, sorry for you guys who don't, but I do, so I'm using it. And what we're going to do is we're going to measure out the length of this thingy. We actually are going to end up wanting it to go off just the end, but that's perfect because the sticky ends right before this knob. So we want to go all the way here, then make a mark right along the end. Then we want to go ahead and cut that. And then once we have that, we don't want to stick this on quite yet because we do need to do a couple things. So first off, we want to remember that, or want to know that this part up top is going to be the part connecting to the car. And what we're going to do is we're going to have, yikes, this connected here along this way. So what we're going to do is I need to make a mark right there to drill a hole in because there's a screw that I'm going to use from the old mount that we're going to go ahead and screw in with that. Alright, the hole is done there, but what we need to do now is we need to make relief cuts along the top here so that way we can bend this piece enough so that way it goes with the mold of the car, because right now we really can't bend it because physics says no bueno. So I'm going to take you over to the car and I'll show you what I mean. Looking down from the top, you can quite easily see that this isn't going to quite line up that well. So we're going to go ahead and mark out some places to do a relief cut. So I have the holes lined up perfectly right there, which means we're going to make a cut here, here, and then as it starts getting more along the edge, we'll do some smaller cuts, just like that. They don't need to be perfect because we're going to grind around the edges to make it all rounded, so just as long as we have enough to get it bent. So let's go ahead and get those cut. We have it cut, but now we need to mold it roughly into shape, and all that means is just some slight bending. Luckily aluminum can easily be bent by hand, so it's just making sure we get it into that rough shape to hold correctly. So all you do is you kind of just put it up and test it out, say, hey, that's a little bad, that's a little good, and that's lining up pretty good. So as you can tell though, this doesn't go all the way under like we would. We want to use this, so we're going to go ahead and have to cut out a little notch right here. Just a good slit all the way back, get it nice and trimmed up. Alright, so it's in, but as you can see there are some still metal parts sticking out there, so when I push in the side where it's supposed to be, there are still a few. So we're going to go ahead and mark those with a pencil and get those all trimmed up or grinded off. So what we're doing is we're getting a nice little line there, draw them out, boom, bang, kapow, kachow, kachiga, all the other trademark sayings, and then we get that nice and trimmed. Alright, so we got this all trimmed up, looking heckin' dope. You can kind of see it makes a nice smooth curve, just like so. So the next thing we need to do is we need to attach our light, which disappeared and reappeared. Haha, right there. So the way we're going to do it is we're going to attach it like this. We don't want to cover this hole because we have to screw it in. And we're going to have just this little white part hanging off the edge because the sticky really kind of ends there. So there's no point to having it on. Anyway, the way we're going to attach this is stick. I don't know why I'm saying how you're going to attach it. It's a sticker. Take it off, put it on. You don't know how to put on a sticker, retake kindergarten. Come on, son. Anyway, that's how we're going to do it. The back is super easy. The front, going to take one extra step, but we're going to do that extra step. Also, it's a good time to remind you that as you put it on, you want to make sure that it's going to be blinking the right way. So it starts blinking at the center thing, and I know that this hole is on the outside, so we want to start on the inside and blink away. So lined up like chow. Now it is a very strong stick, and it's not going to fall off at all. But if you're feeling insecure like myself, I'm going to go ahead and throw a couple zip ties on before I put it on. But first we need to take this part off. This part is a two-step process. We're going to take this off, and then we're going to actually take saran wrap and put it over top, because it's just going to reveal the stick on the back, and we don't want that. We want to have it be almost see-through. Now the sticky part is white, like this tape, or like any other thing that is white, because white is specific to nothing. It's just a shade. And you guys understand that, because you passed kindergarten, you already got past the sticker steps, so colors is next. If not, first grade, take it again. Anyway, we're gonna go ahead and yank this off and then put saran wrap right over top, then trim it up, and it'll look amazing. Boom. Make sure not to touch the sticky part, otherwise you'll get your fingerprints on it, and that's a no bueno. Alright, we got a saran wrap. Doesn't matter about longevity. Well, it kind of does, but at the same time it doesn't, because this isn't for structure. This isn't even really for looks. This is just dirt prevention. So get it on, stick it in nice and tight, make sure it's all there on flat. Take an X-Acto knife that you may or may not have used to cut up your thumb just a second ago. Definitely not on purpose and 100% on accident. It was definitely an accident, guys. It wasn't fun. Then all you do is trim back the excess. Whoops, I didn't oops. I'm professional. Don't worry about the oopses. That was my cat walking through, kind of oopsing everywhere. I'm blocking this with my left hand because I'm stupid. Give it a yankaroo off. Oops. Professional, sorry. Stupid cat. And you're pretty much done. So for me, super easy. All I'm going to do is take a screw and screw this in. And just like that, we're done. All you need to do is hook up the equivalence resistor, the gold thing, to a metal plate, and that's really it. Alright, you're done. Feel like a professional? Me neither, but you are a professional. So, all we have to do next is wait for it to be time enough to be dark enough to be lights enough so I can show you everything that we did. So anyway, that's really it. I got nothing much else. If you want to see other videos like this, then search on YouTube custom tail, I don't know what I'm going to name this yet, video lights of blues and greens and lights, and put it on the search bar, hit search, and that's how you find more videos like this. Subscribing to me? I don't know if you will. I haven't seen the other videos on my channel. I'm new too. Don't worry about it. Just like, unsubscribe, hit in the comments. Bye!